What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Destroy with Astro DFS, bringing you my first look over week 15. I've no other weeks. I just went over prices, but I'm gonna try to do a little quick talk here over prices and players I'm liking. So right off the bat, the first three players that are there under 7K. Don't know how I feel about Patrick Mahomes against Denver. Granted, Deshaun Watson just put up 30 points. I just don't know with that 7K salary. And it's the same thing with Russell Wilson against Carolina, the 7K salary. The only difference between Mahomes and Wilson is Mahomes is home. But Jameis Winston against Detroit, when, Tampa Bay just needs to show life, Jameis Winston is fighting for an NFL job next season. 6,900 if his issue with the thumb is good. I like him. I mean, I'll easily pay 6,900 for him against Detroit, depending on weather. Deshaun Watson against Tennessee, with the way Tennessee's offense is playing, Houston has to keep up. So either one of those guys I'm fine with playing. I'd rather play Deshaun Watson for 300 more than Tannehill, but Tannehill's still a great play. And then Baker Mayfield against Arizona, I think, is an interesting one, just because Arizona's defense has been very, very shaky towards the bad part. I thought they would have gotten a little bit better with Patrick Peterson coming back, but the defense is still terrible. The only issue is Cleveland's offense just hasn't really looked too hot. And they're on the road. You look at Baker Mayfield's stats, and, granted, last week against Cincinnati should have been his game to where, a good close to 300 yards, couple touchdowns, but no, he ran for a touchdown and threw 2 interceptions. So I just can't have faith in Baker, which I did in the beginning of the season. Aaron Rodgers against the Bears. Aaron Rodgers just is always a great quarterback. You just look at what he did at Chicago. Granted, they're home this time. I could see the same numbers. It's going to be a really close game. Bears have to come out and win the game. Bears fan, so they have to come out and win the game. So they're going to be pressing Aaron Rodgers hard, because without Aaron Rodgers, that Green Bay team is nothing. Decent defense, but that offense is Aaron Rodgers. Dak Prescott against the Rams, I don't like here. I think he's going to play. They're going to be home. The only way I could see some likeness is, maybe they take advantage and have a high-scoring game against the Rams if the Rams offense can score consistently like they need to. But as of right now, I don't like it. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 6,200 against the Giants. Sure, I'm fine with paying 6,200 against the Giants, which should be a decent game. But yeah, I think it's a fair price point. Carson Wentz against Washington is tricky for me. The only reason we'll find out tonight what he looks like. Philly has got to win all of their games to get a playoff spot. They're not going to get in by wild card, so they have to win all these games and compete against Dallas. So we'll see what Carson Wentz does tonight. The game is actually about to start, so we'll see what he does tonight. It's a division game, and as of right now, I like it. Jared Goff against Dallas, I don't necessarily like. He's 6,100, which is, I think, a fair price point. But his games have just been really, really inconsistent. If that entire offense is healthy, you look at his completion percentage, it's been above 70% the last 3 games. He just is not finding the touchdowns. Todd Gurley has been is getting a little more volume, which is nice to see, especially towards the end of the season. But yeah, I don't know. Got to find some love there. Someone I'm really high on this week, and I think got one of the best prices, best matchups, is Jimmy Garoppolo against Atlanta. I'm honestly seeing San Francisco get a lot of rushing touchdowns, but the way San Francisco's been playing, it's hard to not like Garoppolo in this matchup. Tom Brady against Cincinnati, I'm not going to target, just because I think Patriots are going to play a certain way against the Cincinnati Bengals, and every time I go against the Cincinnati Bengals, my quarterbacks just don't live up to expectations, so I'm just going to stay away from Tom Brady. I'm also going to stay away from Trubisky here, even though Trubisky is having a really, really good end of the season so far. Thrown 3 touchdowns in both of his last 2 games, put up a combined 60 points in 2 games, which is incredible. And this game's just going to be competitive. I think it's just going to be competitive defensively again. Kirk Cousins against the Chargers. If Adam Thielen is in, I like Kirk Cousins a lot more. But if Thielen's not in, I don't necessarily like him as much. Matt Ryan against San Francisco, man. San Francisco's defense is going to be one of my favorite plays, I think, right now. Drew Lock against Kansas City. Drew Lock has played pretty good if you look at his 2 games. And it's hard to say that he is good with only a small sample size of 2 games against the Chargers and the Houston Texans, which is not, either team is not really elite defensively. Kansas City isn't elite either, but can the rookie go into Kansas City and pace with Mahomes? Maybe. If he does this week, then I'm going to play him week 16, 17, no matter who they're playing. Because Drew Lock's been looking really impressive. I like him. Kyler Murray, I don't like against Cleveland here. He's just a turnover machine. And that offense hasn't been what they were in the beginning of the season of looking really good. Derek Carr against Jacksonville, I think, is an average play. I don't really like it. He's just nobody that's really popped off this year, put up crazy good numbers. Philip Rivers against Minnesota, just Minnesota's defense, I think, is just too much for the Chargers. I mean, you look at what he's done, and it's just all over the place. 52 passing attempts against Kansas City, and he only completed 28. Threw for 353 yards and 4 interceptions. Yeah, just really all over the place. Minnesota's got a pretty good defense, so I like that. Gardner Minshew against Oakland. I don't mind playing Gardner Minshew here. If he, I believe he is going to be the quarterback again. Yeah, I believe he is going to be the quarterback again. And if he is, I like him against Oakland. Not a huge amount in cash, but GPP for sure. Kyle Allen against Seattle, I don't really like. I like Christian McCaffrey, but I don't really like Kyle Allen. My guy David Blough, name speaks for itself. I like him in GPPs. Really, really cheap against a really terrible pass defense. So we might get to see some Galladay, Marvin Jones Jr., Amendola love in that game. Eli Manning against Miami. We'll see what Eli Manning does before I say anything about Eli Manning. I think you say Andy Dalton against New England, but man, New England, just gonna shut him down. Dwayne Haskins against Philly. Nah, we don't like it. Christian McCaffrey, like I said, I like. Cheapest he's been in 4 or 5 weeks, I think. Dalvin Cook also goes down in price, 8,900. I love him at that price. Derrick Henry against Houston. Derrick Henry's yet to disappoint. I mean, look at the numbers the last 5 weeks. He's yet to disappoint. You just have to watch his health status. Nick Chubb, the reason I'm staying off of Nick Chubb for the most part is just because Kareem Hunt's in that offense, and they're going to split it a lot between either touchdowns or snaps. So it's just a hard price to commit there. Zeke against the Rams, I can't play Zeke against the Rams. It's hard to say, but I can't. Saquon Barkley, if he's healthy after tonight, then yes, we're going to play Saquon Barkley next week at 7,700. Leonard Fournette against Jacksonville, really good price point, really good matchup. Fine with playing him. Chris Carson against Carolina, also fine with playing him. I mean, those are 3 good price points, 3 good matchups, all favorable in the running back game. You just have to watch to see if they say anything about Penny. But other than that, Chris Carson's good. Aaron Jones against Chicago, I'm not liking that. Josh Jacobs, I doubt he plays broken shoulder as far as I know. Austin Eckler just continues to just... not going to load. Anyway, he just continues to improve. I mean, for being a running back 2, he's basically outscoring the running back 1, which is incredible, making the best opportunity or best usage of his opportunities. I don't know. It's just the Minnesota thing just kind of shakes me off for him and Melvin Gordon. Kareem Hunt, like I said, it's just a split there. Joe Mixon against New England. If you pay Joe Mixon against New England this week, you got to tell me your secret. Todd Gurley against Dallas. Todd Gurley's getting a lot more usage. It's getting a lot more usage. I mean, you look at it the last 2 weeks, and the offense has improved in the last 2 weeks. I'm fine with playing. 6,000, I think, is a fairly good price point for him. I'm fine with playing. Miles Sanders against Washington. I believe everyone. Jordan Howard should be back next week, so I'm not high on Miles Sanders for next week. If I'm going to play an Atlanta player, it's probably not going to be Devontae Freeman here. 5,800, just a bad matchup. Philip Lindsay against Kansas City, perfectly fine playing. Kansas City's just got a bad defense in general. If their offense can score, Denver's got to pace them. And like I said, if Drew Lock can do what he's been doing, that's not going to be a problem. David Montgomery against Green Bay. I'm not really high on David Montgomery here. I'm more high on Tariq Cohen. James White against Cincinnati. I'm perfectly fine with playing this week. You got 37 against Houston, 12 against Kansas City. I think a good 10 to 12 is what you expect from him. Just got to watch the injuries, see if anybody pops up on the New England injury report there. Mostert's been popping off a lot for San Francisco, becoming easily their number one guy. But the other running backs are 4,100 and 4,000, which also just catches my eye there. Tariq Cohen, like I said, I like him. Sony Michel, I like James White more than Sony Michel. Kenyon Drake, I don't like against Cleveland at all. Tariq Cohen, I said I liked. Watch for the injuries as every week, apparently, with Kansas City. Washington, I don't know if I can expect this result again from him, but if Josh Jacobs is out, definitely going to have some looks at Washington. Ronald Jones, the second, I kind of like against Detroit. Just got to see what is up with Jameis, because that might change the game script for him. Laird, I'm never going to play Laird. Carlos Hyde, probably not going to ever play him either. Deshaun Watson just runs the ball too much, or passes the ball too much. I'm sorry. Other than that, everything else is pretty much just a toss-up. Let's go over wide receivers. DeAndre Hopkins is the only 8K receiver here playing against Tennessee. Have to see who's covering him. But at 8,000, I mean, it's hard to get away from Hopkins at 8,000. He should be higher. Godwin against Detroit. In my opinion, you have to have at least one receiver from Tampa Bay Detroit game. You have to have somebody in that game. This is both defenses that can easily be exposed. Just have to watch with Jameis, like I said, for the Tampa Bay side. Devontae Adams against the Bears. It's going to be going against Kyle Fuller. Going to be Aaron Rodgers' number one target. It's going to be an interesting matchup there. Not too high on him. Tyreek Hill. I believe in Tyreek Hill this week. I really do. 7,500 is a fair price point for him. Going against a really tough Denver team, but it's Tyreek Hill. He's got speed that is unmatched, so I could easily see Tyreek Hill getting in a couple of my lineups this week. Stephon Diggs, if he has Adam Thielen with him, I like Stephon Diggs. I'd probably go Thielen though. But Stephon Diggs' interest, like I said, Detroit, Tampa Bay. Julian Edelman, I'm probably going to stay away from New England receivers this week. I could just see him running the ball a lot. Julio Jones, he's really, really, really cheap this week at 7,000. But if you look at his recent games, there's a reason for it. And he's going against a very, very tough defense here. So I'm probably going to stay away from Julio Jones. Austin Hooper is probably going to be my only player that I have any interest in for Atlanta. Tyler Lockett against Carolina. I think Tyler Lockett needs a really good bounce back game. He's just been struggling. My fantasy team has been struggling. He's put up, guys, a combined 17 points in the last 4 weeks. It's an average of 4 points per week. Got to have a bounce back game this week. Mike Evans being out definitely brings interest for Godwin, of course, and maybe some other cheap Tampa Bay receivers. Allen Robinson, not going to load for me, I guess. No, not going to load for me. Allen Robinson at 6,800 playing against Green Bay, being Trubisky's number one receiver, probably going against Alexander. Allen Robinson has just become that number one receiver that Trubisky needs, and he's going to continue to be that guy. And I'm perfectly fine with paying 6,800 for Landry. Robinson, I'm sorry. Landry is the next guy on the list. Jarvis Landry in that Cleveland offense. Seeing Odell's injury thing just puts Landry on top for Cleveland receivers. So if you want to go a Cleveland player this week, I would suggest Jarvis Landry. DJ Moore has just been on fire lately. Just not going to load for me. Playing home against Seattle. Seattle's still a very tough team. But DJ Moore has been that number one receiver. So it's always worth a look. Emmanuel Sanders, if you want to go anybody from San Francisco's receiving core, I'm fine with playing any of them this week. Cooper Kupp against Dallas. Robert Woods has become the number one receiver right now, but Cooper Kupp can still have that potential. And I honestly my favorite receiver from the Rams is Cooper Kupp this week. Amari Cooper definitely needs to perform. He's probably just going to go against Jalen Ramsey, though, which takes some interest off and puts interest in Michael Gallup. Devontae Parker, have to watch for the concussion. Odell, like I said, I'm probably not going to play him with the injury news. I'll probably go to Landry. Keenan Allen against Minnesota. I could see him really just go off against Minnesota. This Chargers team has been underperforming all year. It's just Austin Eckler is just looking really, really nice. So I'm probably, as of right now, getting off Allen. As of right now, Adam Thielen, like I said, if he plays, I really like him at 6,300. DJ Chark, same thing. If he plays, I like him at 6,200. Robert Woods, you could play him, like I said. He's been Rams' number one receiver. Been playing really consistent. Still not going to load for me. DK Metcalf is just an average player that is going to get you a good 10 to 15 points. If he exceeds anything by that, then great, but he's probably got that floor around 10 to 15, somewhere around there. AJ Brown, I mean, Jesus, the man has been going off. He's only 6,000 this week, which is crazy to me after what he just did last week. So they're playing against Houston, and I'm probably going to have Brown this week. Alshon Jeffrey, just have to, like I said, just watch the game. I'm not going to comment on Philly Washington players until after the game tonight. Courtland Sutton against Kansas City. Sure. Like I said, Kansas City just got a terrible defense overall. Golden Tate, like I said, Giants, Philly, Washington, Miami. I mean, I'll say Giants. I like Giants. I like Giants against Miami. Just have to watch and make sure no one gets hurt or anything like that. AJ Green, I'm still not going to play, even if he does come back against New England. Samuel, like I said, you could play any San Francisco receiver this week and it wouldn't be bad. Gallup, if I'm playing a Dallas receiver, I'm going to play Michael Gallup. Will Fuller, if Will Fuller's back, it definitely brings some interest there over Kenny Stills. Staying away from Tyler Boyd, definitely Christian Kirk staying away from him in that ridiculous offense. Shepard, McLaurin, just like I said, just watch for the game tonight. Marvin Jones, Detroit, Tampa Bay, like I said, got to get somewhere there. 5,200. Definitely one of my favorite looking plays as of right now for that receiver range. Anthony Miller's been playing really crazy good. But Allen Robinson is my guy for Chicago this week. Gage, staying away from him. Sammy Watkins, I'd rather go Tyreek Hill. Tyrell Williams just hasn't been playing as good as he did. I mean, he's still never played that incredible, but just not that crazy good. Allen Hurns, if Parker's out, I'm fine with playing Allen Hurns. He had a really big week last week, stepping up to become the number one receiver after the other two number one receivers have went down. So really good play there. D.D. Westbrook, if Chark is out, then D.D. Westbrook is probably the play for Jacksonville. Marvin Williams has been playing really decent lately. His 4,600 price point makes it makes it even more playable. Perryman, if Mike Evans is out, like I believe he's going to be, Perryman's a really good price there to counter if you fade Godwin. Curtis Samuel's up there if you don't want to play DJ Moore. Curtis Samuel's a decent play, not really that interested, but at 4,400, I mean, it's a decent price point for him. Everyone else is pretty much a toss-up. And then we'll just go over tight ends. Travis Kelce against that Denver team. Not too high on paying up for tight ends for the most part this season. A tight end I do like is George Kittle against Atlanta this week, though. I would pay up for him. Waller against Jacksonville, I'm fine with paying up for 5,500. Hunter Henry against Minnesota, maybe for right now. Austin Hooper, like I said, he's the only one from Atlanta that I like so far. Njoku, I really like. I really liked him last week. He just didn't. Man, that Cleveland team just went crazy. But they're going against the worst tight end defense in the league. So hopefully Njoku can get back on it. Gesicki, if Parker is out, also gets a lot of interest here just because Fitzpatrick has to throw to somebody. Watch the injuries for the Rams. Everett, Higbee, definitely going to be good plays there. Watching injuries for also Carolina. If Olsen's out, Thomas becomes a good play again. Hollister is definitely up there in interest for me. Always will be with that Seattle tight end. They've shown a good ball usage to tight end, so I'm liking that. Rudolph against the Chargers, I don't like. Jason Witten against the Rams, I don't like. Jimmy Graham against the Bears got the only touchdown in the game one, but I still don't like him this week. Caden Smith, if he plays against Miami, like I said, don't really want to comment on the game right now, but I'm fine with playing him. OJ Howard just hasn't done anything this year for the most part. Jonnu Smith, I'm fine with paying 3,500 for, not a crazy amount, but definitely worth some looks there. Fells against Tennessee, sure, you could play Fells or Atkins. I mean, that's just a toss-up there. Seals Jones, I'm only going to play Njoku. Thomas, like I said, if Olsen's out, he becomes a really good play. Clay, I have no interest in. And Jarwin, I have no interest in. Everyone else is pretty much, under 3K, which is just a punt, so you can go with anyone you want. I won't go over defenses. But yeah, that's my quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end first look, guys. Tune in to all the videos throughout the week, specifically going over all these players, where I can hopefully do a little more research and get some more interest in these guys. So hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Subscribe to show us some support. And if you're interested in joining us, follow us on Twitter at AstroDFS, where we are still giving still selling our NBA packages for the season. I have an 11-2 win rate, so definitely go check that out, guys. Thanks for watching.